Lavender.
For me, it's lemongrass, lavender or lemongrass. Though I love lemongrass.
See, you say this on your professional page, right? So I'm gonna say tea tree oil,
Okay.
tea
You
tree
could put
oil.
you could put the you could put the other answer in the group.
No, no, I do like the smell of tea tree oil, but that's not what I wrote. So I'm gonna just say tea tree oil.
Okay. Tea tree
Okay.
oil. All right. So I want us to do one thing. We're gonna get into a little bit more of a discussion. We got about maybe an hour, almost an hour left. So just a quick inhale through your nose and exhale. One more, just because it's important for us to stay regulated and not activated. Y'all feel that?
Right.
Yeah, that felt good.
Always good.
I've never
Always.
done that on the interview before. That was a first.
Why am I not seeing y'all? What did I do?
Yeah, I'm on the page view. Okay, now I'm in the third.
There we go. There we go. Okay, question.
Kevin.
Talking about Black History Month as a living practice. Anybody can. Oh no, that's right. This is for everybody.
Okay.
What one Black History lesson that changed? What's one Black History lesson that changed how you take care of yourself now?
Wait, is that one of our questions?
Yes, that's for everybody, but anybody can answer, or if you don't have an answer, I'll ask.
Oh, it sure is. Okay. No, I'm just looking. I'm just looking.
This one, was very relevant to me because I always think of Harriet Tubman. I always go back to her when I have to remind myself everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. And that, when you're a helper, sometimes we can get caught up with trying to do things for people who don't want to do it themselves.
Mm.
And I always have to remind myself not to do the work for others. They have to do the work. And so that was Harriet Tubman.
And that's such a detrimental thing because as Black women, it's so easy for us to pick up other people's work. Come on, we just go and we just innately are will end up carrying a load for somebody else.
And do you know she left her first husband behind? And then she left him and his new wife behind.
Wow.
On one of her when she was.
I thought she went back to get him, and then he didn't. He still something.
She went back to get him, and they would not go because he was free. The wife was not, and they would not go. So she left.
Everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go.
It's a deep lesson.
What that must have did to her because she had such tenacity. She would shoot somebody for keeping them from making it through. So I always think of her.
Reginald Sawyer said, "Wow, hi, Reginald." And it's a question in the chat for you if you want to answer that.
I mean, I'm looking at this question, right? And the thing that's jumping out at me is the end part, where you say how to take care of yourself now. And I think I just been focused on not necessarily Black history necessarily, but just being Black. I think that I'm just a lot more focused into my health than I ever have been for some reason. Like, yeah, because I have a younger daughter, that could be the motivation. But my dad died and he was 61, 61, 62. And I said that I wanted one of my goals to be able to live longer than him. And in order to do that, I got to take some steps. I got to, put some good stuff into my body. So I think just looking at the question overall, even though I didn't get a chance to like jot anything down, but as I'm thinking about it, when Doctor was talking, I'm just thinking about my overall health, just trying to take care of myself from the inside out. Because now I'm in therapy for the second time, and I feel like this therapy was different than it was the first time. It was for something totally different back then, and now it's for everything that I'm dealing with now. So I don't think therapy is ever one of them things that you turn off, because you could have had therapy, 7 years ago about whatever was going on at that time, and now when you have it now, you dealing with something totally different. So I think just overall for me is just taking care of myself overall from the inside out.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think too, because we look at history as something that happened right in the past, but I opened in my opening, and what I believe is that history lives in us, just like you were talking about on a cellular level. History lives in us. So yeah, it's not something that we just kind of get away from, which we can, like we try to. We try to move ourselves away from, but realistically, we really can't get away from it. I think a Black history lesson for me has been I learned that trying to see if I wanted to say that, but I learned some of the things that my grandmother had to carry, some of the things that she did. My grandmother died early. She died at 60. I thought she was 60, but she might have been 63. So she was fairly young, but she raised 16 children.
Mm.
8 of her own, and then my mom's oldest sister had 8 children, and she took care of those children as well.
Mm.
Um, so just the nature of who she was and what she did and what she took on, we think that because the history lesson in it for me has been, and what I learned to take care of what I learned from that to use to take care of myself is that perfection ain't it. Thinking that things have to be done and have to look perfectly and have to be done a certain way is not always helpful, right? We do things and we can get them done, but they don't have to be done perfectly. And we don't have to uphold this standard of perfection when we provide love, when we provide care, when we do things that honor ourselves and others. So that's the lesson.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. So Black history, living as a living practice. Which one? I picked Dr. Kim. You can go first. I want to ask you a question. Because you
Okay.
are, we didn't even do a full description. Can you talk a little bit about the work that you do and how you got to that place?
In terms of, say that, I'm sorry, repeat that for me,
Can you
because
talk a little bit about the work that you do and how you got to that place
the work that I do right
in
now.
terms of system CRT? Yeah. Well, you told me a little bit
Oh,
about
this is my
just
CRT question.
I want
This is my CRT.
give us a little foundation first on the work that you do, how you got to that place. Your
Okay. I
dissertation,
was a
talk
little.
about your dissertation.
Okay. So you want to know about my dissertation?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my dissertation was on African American masculinities and the performance agenda. And so specifically, I looked at how Black males learn to perform, act out um, their gender, meaning how they learn to not become masculine, but act Black masculinities. More than one masculine. There's more than one way to act Black and masculine, right? There is no one way to be masculine.
Mm.
We believe that, but there's no, not at all. And what that means is there are these characteristics of masculinity generally, right? Dominance, aggression, control, violence, all of those have always been characteristics of masculinity, right? And I'm talking about from a general perspective, right? But when it comes to Black masculinity, and I hope I'm still on because I only see myself.
Yeah, we see you. You good.
Okay, all right. But when it comes to how Black men learn to become masculine, that takes on kind of a different tenor, right? Because you live in a racist society, right? So what happens is a little boy is raised to become a man, not a little boy, right? That's where we get little man from, right? So they're raised to be, they don't get a chance to learn what boyhood is because there's these kinds of rituals around manhood and boys are always getting. And they get that through overt communication, but mostly through nonverbal communication. So, for example, boys aren't allowed to cry. So when they grow up, they learn that this is what it means to be masculine, but they go into the wider world trying to form that masculinity and find out they cannot because that is with a white male space. And so there is a punitive reaction for that. If they perform masculinity in the same way white males do. So where can they perform it? In the Black community. Well, the consequence of that is on Black females, which is where you get a lot of the disconnection, dysfunction, and perceived, male and female disconnect. Now, the root of this is in a masculinity that has been contrived from the beginning. What a masculinity is. Contrived in a white world. So that's a problem. And that flows into what we're talking about, CRT, critical race theory, right? First of all, just the theory itself, it's an academic and legal framework that basically just says, it denotes that systemic racism is a part of American
Wait,
society.
Dr. Trent, hold on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Can I hear what?
No.
Something wrong?
No, it's me. Keep going.
Okay. So again, critical race theory is saying that it's an academic and legal framework that says systemic racism is a part of American society from in every institution. So from education to housing to employment to healthcare to politics to religion, it is systemic. So take that in. It is in every system and institution.
Wow.
So think about that, right? If it's in every system and institution, from a mental health framework, it's necessary to understand that the root causes of our psychological distress and unresolved generational trauma likely don't live in us. That there's an impact from society that's built and maintained. Get those two, because there's a difference. It's built and maintained on systemic racism. So here, if you go back to this example of Kevin going to the Whitney plantation, here you ought to be able to go and experience this space, this historical space of our ancestors, where you are in a complex space of experiencing history, but grieving with the ancestors. But you are now surveilled because here are white people infringing upon your space. And now you are thinking, you're not just in here grieving, experiencing history all by yourself. Now you are psychologically thinking, what are they thinking? And you're angry. You see what I'm saying? So there's these other cognitions going on, while simultaneously you are in your own space, having your own layered experience. That causes stress.
Yeah.
And we know what stress causes.
Yeah. Heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, and we do all these things, and we say, oh, it's genetic. It's genetic. You have these things because of the way you eat. You don't eat right. Y'all still eating this kind of food. Y'all still doing that, and
it's your fault.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
Because the first thing somebody says is, what did somebody say to you coming back, Kevin? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Not what's wrong with them. What's wrong with the system? What's wrong with the space that was invaded?
Right.
Now, here's the better question. What happened to you?
What happened?
You might need to breathe behind that.
Yeah, I hear Kevin over there breathing. We can't see him, but we hear you breathing over there.
I didn't touch nothing. You can't see me?
No, your video went out. It just went black, but we can hear you perfectly fine.
Oh, that's crazy. I ain't touched nothing. I'm just sitting here listening to Doc, man. She got me going, man, because she
think about, right? I'm sorry.
She is tapped. She is tapped in, man. I appreciate everything she just said. For real, for real. Like she is really tapped in.
But yeah, we don't talk about those things enough. We don't talk about the systems that are at play. We kind of it really relies on us. Oh, if you black people, if you just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you could just get yourself together. And now a lot more people are making a lot more money, and it still feels like people still talk from their place of privilege as they are able to tap into these systems and still internalize these things, and then in turn put them on to other people who haven't, who still are subjected to. I mean, we all are subject to the system, but subjected in different ways, and it's just unfair.
Here's the danger in even having mental health practitioners that are not decolonized or do not have, there it goes, or do not have a understanding or acceptance of the pervasiveness of these systems and how they function on our mental health, how they influence, how they invade our mental health. When we go see someone for counseling, for therapy, that don't understand that, they're not asking that question, right? What happened to us? What was our experience? It's not coming from that.
No, and very often they are assuming other things. And they can be detrimental, very harmful.
It's very detrimental because they don't understand the complexity of the history along with the everyday stressors of a Black person that lives under constant surveillance. Black people live under constant surveillance. And here's the thing. The kind of surveillance that a Black man lives under is different than the surveillance that a Black woman lives under. And it differs based on what you look like. For example, someone that looks at me from the back and I'm driving may think I'm a Black man. It's happened to me with police.
Wow.
Right? And so the approach, hand on holster. Yeah. And I'm large. Right? So it's not the small, petite Black woman with long hair. Right? Kevin can probably tell you, a Black man that doesn't have glasses. Different approach.
No, I mean I got glasses now.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna step on what you're talking about, but
yeah.
I've heard my brothers, talk about, you can't walk around with your hands like this. You can't. You know what I'm saying?
And unfortunately, it wasn't. Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't as bad when I grew up. It wasn't as bad as it is now. I dealt with a little bit of the what they call it. Oh man. When they specifically target you, I've dealt with that a little bit when I was young. It wasn't as bad as it is now, but even when you said getting pulled over and them thinking you was a man, it just hit me like, damn, like they not even, are you even paying attention? Like, are you even, like they say when I watch some of these police interactions, I mean, I'm talking about going back to when I was young up to now, and it's like they got the same outdated script, They ask you the same stupid questions. They ask you this, like, it's just stupid. And now that we've gotten to a place where we're educated, and when they're coming to us with this nonsense, and we're looking at them like, are you serious? Like, now they got an attitude with us because we hip to what they doing. You know what I mean? So it's like a catch-22. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Because if you don't, they're gonna try to violate your rights. And now that you do know your rights, they're gonna definitely try to, they agitated with that. So it's like, what do we do? It's like a win-lose situation. But I appreciate because I heard about critical race theory, but never tapped into it like that. But the way if that was your paperwork, that you did research on, that was man. I need to see that, because now you got me thinking on a different level than I did, before we got on here. Because now I'm listening to you and I'm just like, what? So what I'm saying now is I'm listening a lot more now than I've ever done before. Like I'm actually just listening. Like when people talk, I listen, so I don't miss nothing. So I think that's one of the things that I'm doing now to keep myself tapped in. I'm trying not to listen to the nonsense, the noise, but when it makes sense to me, and it's got my burns turning, I'm listening, because I'm like, what did she just say? So I thank you for everything that you said. I'm thanking you for that. I'm thanking you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I got a little angry. I don't know if y'all saw me look out the window. That's my little, like, let me look out the window cause man, I'm passionate. And I think even when I was young, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, because you're gonna ask me a question, and this is what I'm getting ready to say might be with that, so I'm gonna wait.
Question. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
I do want to say I also appreciate the way that you broke it down. Mentioned what you talked about in terms of CRT, because a lot of people, they done threw it out there since the 1619 project came out, and Nicole Henry Jones started mentioning her book and things like that. They just throw it out there any kind of way, as if it's a political thing, and as if it's not a way for us to examine how the laws and how those policies and institutions, how they produce unequal outcomes for us. So that's the main thing that we want to identify and pull out too. One of the main things, but we don't look at that. That critical race theory is a way. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a way for us to look at who benefits versus who who is burdened by that thing, right?
So I'm gonna tell you, there's a good website you can go to. The NAACP's Legal Defense Fund, their website, they've got a whole page that breaks down critical race theory in like these different leagues, like this really breaks it down. NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Go there, you can check it out. It's very user friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund.
I put it in the chat too, so we can have it for
sure.
To look back on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, you ready for your question, Kevin?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
What's the part of Black history that shaped how Black men are expected? Now, Dr. Kim did show up a little bit on this in terms of masculinity and how it can present, and the expectations of masculinity and how it can look different. But what is a part of Black history that has shaped how Black men are expected to show up emotionally?
So she tapped on it a little bit when she talked about Black boys not being able to show their emotion when they was young, right? And so I do vividly remember a conversation, even in my group on my platform, where somebody put up a meme with a mother, and I can't remember what the caption was, but she was beating the little boy because of something he was doing that she thought looked like a girl. I can't remember if he had a dress on. That's what it was. He had a dress on, and the mother was beating him. So that was the whole basis of the conversation. And it came to a point where it was actually people in the group actually talking about how at now that they're parents, that they don't really see punishment physically in that way the best thing or the best alternative for the child, right? And so we start talking about how our parents beat us or how we were disciplined, back in the day, right? And so a lot of people would say, well, I've had conversations with my parents where I thought they went too far, but some of us, well, some of the people in the comments was like, well, that's just the way it was, and that's where I get stuck, because I do remember one time my mother, giving me a beating, and I challenged her. I was like, you don't think I've had enough? Like, this is like you doing too much now. And I mean, I even felt like she was doing too much at the moment. Yeah, I got that you upset, and I got that you are trying to get me to see that I made a mistake or I did something. Now it don't feel like that. Now it feel like you taking something out on me, right? And it was times that I would challenge her in that way, and I used to have to like figure out a way to express myself. And I had my godmother, to this day, it was something she told me, and there's a lot of stuff that people told me over the years of my life that I've never forgotten, and I don't know how. But my godmother told me that, Kevin, when you people look at you and think that you're upset when you're actually passionate about what you're talking about. And she said there's a difference between being angry and being passionate. And when I see you as a passionate young man, right? And I've always took that with me, like all through my life. And it's like, how is it that now when we have these conversations about, and it might be a difficult conversation, but how do we talk about these conversations where it's just the mother in the house raising the little boy now, right? But as Doc presented, like, what's the history behind that though? The systematic placement of the dad not being home for the mother to be better off. Like, what? So when we talk about emotions, there was no black men around to teach young men how to, I guess, even deal with their emotions, or to even feel like what were they dealing with? Because I've had conversations with my dad before he passed, and it was nothing about my dad that was soft. Like, if I can be honest, like, my father wasn't no, like, when I was young and I compare myself to my dad, I can honestly say that I'm, I might be a split image of him when he was a younger man. But I'm growing now day by day. But I'm just saying, even back then, my dad wasn't, even when he wanted to tell me something good, it didn't come out like my mother said it. It wasn't as nurturing, you know what I mean? So I even now as a man, I understand that my dad was, doing certain things and trying to say he was sorry or trying to, show his remorse for something, but it just wasn't like my mother or my grandmother.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, for a lot of people, even if men are around or were, because of the way that we've been socialized and the different experiences that we had, would they have even been able to be an example of?
Correct. That's correct. I guess for me, I'm just using it and kind of just speaking from my lens, from what I've, and I would assume that if somebody's listening, that my testimony is probably, slightly close to theirs, not exact, but similar, because like we have a culture. We grew up a certain way. But I'm gonna say something as I go through this. And I interviewed somebody a while back, and every time I come up with an example, I use this saying, and it makes sense, that we were raised right the wrong way. A friend of mine told me this one time, and I was just like, wait, what? And then it took me down a rabbit hole of, experiences that I've had. And I'll give you an example of when he said raised right the wrong way, right? So when I was younger, my mother had a babysitter that I used to have to go to. And if you think about it, you know, a babysitter is a good thing, right? That's a good way for mom to still run around and go do what she need to do. But the babysitter that she left me with had a daughter. And if the babysitter had to leave and run to the store, then the daughter had to, you know, kind of watch us, you know, while she was gone. And when the mother was gone, the daughter would watch us, but the daughter had a game. And it involved her breast, and it involved us racing to a light switch, and who can get back to her breast and to the light switch faster. Nobody knew about this. So when I say raised right the wrong way, that was wrong what she was doing to us. I shouldn't have been exposed to that young. And so even if I, at that early age, however I was, 8, 9, 10, whatever, how can I express that to my mother? And say that this happened to me? Because now I feel like I'm going to get this young lady in trouble. So when I say raised right the wrong way, it just seems like we're raising, well, the young men are being raised and aren't being told that it's okay, that they can, you know, tap into what they're feeling, because they're not supposed, you a sucker if you, or you soft. And I mean, the older I got, the more I understood just for myself. When I was upset, or if I was angry, or if something was bothering me, I said something. I always say, even to my mother to this day, she be like, you always had something to say. I've always said something. So that's how I knew I was different. And it's a song, Nipsey Hussle has a song, and it's called When I Realized I Was Different. And I was really young when I realized I was different than anybody. I mean, not saying that I'm perfect or I'm better than anybody. I just knew I was different. So just to bring it back to the emotional part, it's like, even as a man in a relationship, it's not like a man can fully be like vulnerable, because we had this conversation before. And it's like, if you're vulnerable with me, you think you have this safe space with your partner, but then she turns around 2 weeks, month later, and takes everything that you told her and confronts you as if you're this soft man and you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So the vulnerability, it's a lot of young men or y'all are young, you know, males that feel like they can't be vulnerable because it just seems soft. And so I think for me, Black history wise, when I go back and I look at Martin Luther King, when I go back and look at Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, all of these men, Frederick Douglass, all of these men, they were different. And they had different mindsets, they had different temperaments, they had different ideologies. Like, they wasn't the same. But the thing that I saw from them, all of them, was a certain amount of confidence. And I think when you're confident, you can be emotional. You can, you know, I don't know if I'm saying this the right way, but like when you're confident in who you are, you don't feel no type of way if you drop a tear or you know what I'm saying? Because you know who you are. And I think that's what the problem is young men not knowing who they are. So when it comes to Black history in terms of the emotional part of it, I think that if people tap into the history, they'll find, you know, something different for them that reaches out to them and touches them. But they have to go and at least do the work. So I would say the biggest thing for me for Black history is just going back and doing the work. It's stuff that the doctors just said, I just heard it for the first time. I'm like, what? So it's just so much information out there for us that even when I talk to the kids now, they have things that they want to talk about. They just don't know how, because nobody has told them. You can say, and so for when I talk to them, I put it in a way where, you know, I always tell them this: I'm you. I'm just older. Literally, like I'm literally you, just older. Because every day that, I mean, if you talk about having a baby when you was young, I did that. If you want to talk about, you know, being in the street the wrong way, I've done that too. If you want to talk about, you know, being promiscuous with women, I did that too. Y'all can really learn something from me if you help me help you. And I think that's the biggest part of what we don't have. Is not a lot of men and women helping the younger generation, because when you're an adult, you have the mindset to choose whether you want to do right or wrong. The young people, they still teetering that fence, because it's some teens that I talk to, and they're not bad kids. They just need guidance. Yes. But then you got these other kids that's in it, and they just in it because they didn't ask to be in it, but they're in it. regardless of what their family dynamic look like. So it's not like a kid in this rough household can come in the house and be like, oh man, this boy outside, he just beat me up. What they gonna tell him?
Go outside.
Stop crying and go back outside and fight this. But what if that kid is not set up like that? What if he's literally, just a softer kid and don't want to be? Because that's how I was. And so I'm bringing this all in to say that I was that kid that was emotional. I was that kid that didn't mind telling you how I felt, but I got perceived a certain way. But then at a certain time of my life, something happened to me, and I'm not going to get into that, but something happened to me and it changed my life, like instantly. I'll just say I was being bullied, and I've shared this story sometimes, but I'll make it quick. I was being bullied, and I was tired of being bullied. And I'm walking home one day, and an old guy from my neighborhood saw me. We talked. I told him what was going on. He was like, "Bring me $50, and I'm gonna give you some." I was like, "All right, cool." And now, mind you, I'm in the sixth grade. I get the money from my dad because my dad used to come around and give us money. Went back to go see the dude. The dude gave me a 38. I bought a gun in the sixth grade. The day that I bought the gun, it changed my life. It changed my mindset. It changed who Kevin was. Like at that moment, I'm not gonna curse, but at that moment, I was like, "It's nobody else ever gonna bother me again." Now that I got this. Now the thing that I'm proud of is even when I got it, I never took it to school. I didn't walk around with it. I didn't take because I even at a young age, I knew what the responsibility was that I just did. This is a gun. Like I know what I can do with this. So in my mind, I didn't want to carry it. But I just wanted to have it just so I can know, that I was going to be safe. So when I say something like that happening, it's something with young people and even older people. It's something like that that's happening to them that shifted who they were, because we all were pretty. When we were young, what did we do? We rode our bikes. We went outside. We ran. But something happened. Whether it was that relationship, whether it was that interaction with our father or our mother, it was something that just shifted us, right? So I just think that as far as Black history, tying it into that emotion, I think we have to, first go do the research, because you don't even know what people went through. And I mean, again, just being able to be at the Whitney plantation and just feeling that, it was just like, what I even asked myself, what is this? Like, why am I feeling like I'm feeling anxious and like I just feel like I want to punch somebody in the face, but I didn't do that. But it's kids, male and female, that's getting that urge and don't know how to express it. And the first thing that they lash out is violence. Because that's all they're being told in the music. Yeah. And so that's where if I was to tap into, the Black history aspect of the emotion, because it's so many emotions with Black history of what they did to us, how they treated us, how the people felt, what was there. And if these kids knew some of that, maybe it would change their judgment and think about what they're doing and how we even treat each other. Because I ask them all the time, why do we have to treat each other the way we treat each other? Because I remember when I was young, everybody was kind of cool. Now it's like you speak to somebody, you like, let me stay on my side of the street because I don't know what, because there's mental health and all this other stuff. But I just think that, being a young man growing up in these small environments where, it is tough, it is hard, it's like you can't show no weakness. But if you have the confidence, you can ultimately, show your weakness and still not be considered weak. You can be somebody is across the street looking at you and be like, oh, okay, he got away with that. Maybe I can do that. And that's what I'm basically saying, just kind of tying it all together, because we have to show that emotional side. Because I know even for me, sometimes when I get emotional and I've let it out, I feel so much better after that. Like I feel so much better that I've held that in and now I've gotten it out. And it's like, okay, so I think for me, Lisa, that's, I don't know if that helped you with the question, but that's kind of how I reference Black history back to emotion.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think even the part about something happened where we experienced something that was outside of, oh, it did it again. You must have got a phone call. That's probably what it is. That's knocking him out, right? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. No,
Uh-oh.
So
Can you hear me?
yeah, I
I
can
can
hear
see you, but I can't hear you.
And your video went out. Can you say something, Dr. Kim?
you. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Okay.
but Kevin can, I think.
He must have went out.
Or he left and
Yeah.
he probably won't leave and come back.
You know what he was saying about taking them to
Can you hear me? I
Israel.
mean,
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I just can't hear y'all now. I don't know.
Oh,
Like I can see you, but I can't hear you.
How about now?
can you hear us?
Not
Can you
now
hear
either.
us? Can you hear? Oh no.
That's funny. Technology is great, ain't it? Until it's not.
What he was saying about taking kids to like Whitney Plantation and other, like Black History museums and things like that, it does make a difference. I took my classes to the Whitney.
No.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can see you, but I can't hear you at all. I can't hear you at all.
No.
I don't know what happened.
Oh no.
I don't know what happened.
You still can't go out, man. Try it again. Still can't hear.
Muted my mic. Okay.
Still can't hear.
I muted and unmuted to see if that was going to help. I'm trying.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, you can hear. I just can't hear y'all. That's strange.
Your mic not on.
And my volume is up. I don't know. That's technology. See, I know what it is. We talking about something good, and they don't want us to get the word out. That's what it is. Doc talked about this, them systematic things that's in place, and they don't want us talking about this stuff. That's what's going on.
Right.
Power to the people. I hope y'all can still hear me. Power to the people.
Yeah.
But I can't hear y'all, but I'll stay. I mean,
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll definitely stay because I can't hear, but I will definitely stay. See, it's camera's on. Mic is on. I don't know. I'll just sit here in silence. Just like, okay, I think I know what they're saying. Be like, oh yeah, I know what they're saying. That was a good one.
I don't have his number. I wish I had his number. I could just call. Let me see if I kick him out.
I'm gonna go out and come in and see if that works.
Okay.
Uploads in progress. What that mean?
It mean you got a Windows computer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got both. I got one. The Windows I had to jump off of.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. How about now?
I still can't hear you.
Oh my gosh, that's
wow.
He sound good, look good. We can't hear.
That is not nice. What is that?
Oh, that's so crazy.
Why can't I hear y'all? Audio, we good. Speaker, we good. Yeah, we good on the speaker. We good on the mic.
The mic.
I don't know what's going on.
That's so crazy.
All right, I'm just gonna go on. This is the last part anyway. We'll just do this last part and then we'll try to. We could put it's another part in the. Oh man, this was like the fun part. I really want all of us to do this.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. This is my phone.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. This is my cell phone.
Did you get a
call? Put it in the chat. Have an answer.
Huh? Oh yeah. I can put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat. All right.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
He say he gonna leave. Don't leave.
Maybe he gonna come back.
Oh, you doing the this or that?
Yeah, this is a game of this or that. All right, so we can start. We can kick back in because it's like it's only a couple more. So journaling or voice notes.
Journaling.
Wait, let me say this. Let me say that. Oh, I wish he was coming back. But this was a great conversation. I want to thank you so much for
Thank
joining.
you.
You're welcome.
This is great.
I think we got to do this again.
Yeah, this was good.
Thank you.
I'm
glad we did it.
I think it was a good, good playoff for each other. The whole thing, I really enjoyed it.
That was good. So, all right, so now we got to come back. We'll do it again. This is Black History Month. So I'm going to do, our first book for our book club is going to be Becoming by Michelle Obama. We're going to start that the second week of February. So, okay, he did come back. Yes. Can you hear us?
I can hear y'all now. I don't know
Okay.
what was going on. That was good. See, it's the systems in place. They trying to stop us.
Trying to stop us. But they ain't stop us now.
Nah.
And we didn't even talk about, I just want to say one last thing. Sometimes people also, like, these systems have put people against each other, right? Put poor people against poor people, Black people against white people, Asian people, other
Black
people,
women
Black women against Black men. And yes, and really, we're not the enemy. None of us are the enemy of each other. The only enemy in place is we aren't often able to see capitalism. Some of those systems that are in place that uphold, like, patriarchal systems that are detrimental to women and men.
Yeah.
But Abram Kendi said, some people don't mind oppression as long as they're not the ones being oppressed.
Yeah.
And that is something
I agree with that.
Yeah, that absolutely sits with me, because I talk to men as a woman. I watch how men and women are people try to subjugate us to things. And there are people who are upset because they had a 400-year head start and we still thriving. And they don't like that.
Sure.
But the fact is that sometimes we get into these unnecessary power struggles without realizing where the real enemy lies, and it's not within us. So we gotta be, extra cognizant about being on our joy, being together, unity, our collective nature. I did this one thing in terms of Black community, because y'all did mention this a lot, and I just want to say, like, a couple of the things that I thought of in terms of how the Black culture, things that are in Black culture that are values for us and have been values that I would love to see us continue. But collective care, looking out for each other when systems don't. If you know somebody, I just always remember growing up, nobody was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
We always had something to eat. Somebody, don't matter. Whatever resources, I got, you got. If you need information, I got it. You need your kid to go somewhere, they'll take them. So-and-so, they'll pick the kids up from school. Things like that. We always had that kind of support without needing any type of formal permission or program to set it up. And resilience. I want to say this last part, but resilience without erasure, right? We get to be, we endure. Like we are creative when it comes to our beauty, to our fashion, to our humor, to our art, to our joy. Creativity is just in us. And a spiritual grounding. I'm always surprised. I am always surprised when I hear Black people say that they are atheists, or I'm not. So when I dig deeper, I'm not surprised. But when on the surface, I'm always surprised, because we're so culturally rooted in faith, prayer, wisdom.
Is it an age group that you see it from more?
No, but it is I can't say if it's an age group. It could be younger. But I do know some older people who say this. But what I do realize is that a lot of times it's coming from a place of hurt. Or sometimes people think that if if they're not a member of a church or they don't go to a church, then they don't believe in God.
Well, it's not even that. Some people think religion is magical.
Sometimes there's that.
Some people think that religion is just, oh yeah, this is no.
Yeah, there's that. And they don't realize the spiritual connection that we have, and that how we've grown and how we move through that without religion, outside of religion. Like religion is, I'm a Christian. I don't have anything bad to say about some. I do have a lot of bad things to say about religion, but I don't have that's not my point. My point is you can be spiritually connected. You can know God, you can love God and not be connected to a religion, but people feel like if they're not, that disqualifies them from loving God and God loving them. So
I was a member of First Baptist Church of Glenard, and when I first got to this church, when I first got to that church, I always looked at it as being so huge, and it was one of the mega churches. But I remember talking to this lady, and she was like, "Baby," this is what she said, "Baby," she said, "Baby, the more you get active, the more it gets smaller." Mm-hmm. Right? And so I did. I started to get a little bit more active. I started coming, more consistently. I joined prison ministry. I had a men's group. So and again, just her comment, it got, because it was like, oh, Brother Kevin, oh, hey, it just got smaller. And the smaller it got for me, by the time it got to a place where I felt comfortable, right? Another lady came to me and was like, it's not about your relationship with the church. It's about your relationship with God. And you and him got your own relationship. It don't look like nobody else's. So if you feel like you don't need to be here, then as long as you with him, you good. And I'm just like, wait, so I get comfortable and then somebody tells me. So it's just like one of them things where you just have to pay attention. And, I got a friend named Ron Black. His name is Ron Black. And he always uses this word saying being intentional about everything that we do. And so I go outside and I'm intentional everything that I do and I see. I try to, be as intentional as I can, regardless if it's me protecting myself, protecting a loved one or whatever. I'm just really intentional, because people ask me sometimes, oh, you don't have no issues in Florida? Why would I? I say, and when I say that, I don't say that to my own home, but what I say is, look at me. Do you think, if you know me, if Lisa, Doc, you don't know me yet, but Lisa knows me a little bit from school, but if you know me, do you think somebody of that color is just gonna walk up on me and say some crazy stuff to me? I don't think so. Just based off how I look, they're not gonna do that. Yeah. So I think people need to also understand who they are. Right. Because who you are is presented. And when you're outside, people are, oh, I ain't saying nothing to that dude. Right. Oh, I ain't messing with him. Tap into who you are. I mean, because again, confidence looks different to everybody. And I remember Deion Sanders said it's the best. He was like, if my confidence, does something to your insecurities, that's not my problem. That's yours. Right. Yeah, that's not my.
But we have been taught to shrink, and some of that stuff comes out of Jim Crow, right? Jim Crow, that only ended like the year my brother was born. It ended like 12 years before I was born. It wasn't that long ago that we was told that in the presence of white people, you need to shrink, you need to cover up, you need to cross the street, you need to not drink out of, sit at the counter that they sit and drink out of the stuff. That wasn't that long ago, really. Yeah, so some of those things they had been passed down without us even being conscious or aware of it. But I asked the question one day, how people interact in spaces with white people. When you walk past, are you the first one that say, excuse me, and let them walk past? Or are you even aware of the fact that you do that? Because sometimes we do it. I've been guilty of it myself, and I'm like, what am I
doing? I'm just respectful. That's how I look at it.
Of course, we got human decency. We got human decency. Sometimes it may happen.
That's no more.
Some of those social agreements are still here. Like I said, I lived in New Orleans for 14 years. New Orleans is the closest you'll ever get to plantation social agreements.
Wow.
We ain't talking about New Orleans. We're talking about everyday New Orleans. I have seen it with myself.
Oh, I can hear it in some of the ways that some of the people talk with such they embrace such a rich history and understanding of the culture there and what has transpired historically and just all of that. And then you hear some people, some of the things that they say is just somebody said they were complaining saying that they weren't Haitian, and I'm like, do you understand what the Haitians did for us in that area?
Right. Exactly.
Like that's not, we've been so conditioned to believe that Haitians have done this thing. No, they had it not been for them. Well, like the contributions come, like we.
So real quick, remember. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I was going to say, remember when you asked about Black history? So what could be asked is, what do you know about Black history?
That's a question.
What do you know about it? Like,
young folk don't know. I'm gonna tell you, 30 and down. Not talking university. Not much.
They don't know nothing.
Because
I got students.
We've been erasing it.
I'm talking about freshman, sophomore, junior, do not know who Coretta Scott King is.
In their 20s. They in their 20s.
In their 20s.
Don't know nothing.
Do not know who Coretta Scott King is.
But they know how to rap these rap songs, though.
I honestly think that many of us, our generation, have not done a good job of passing some of those lessons.
My generation, I can tell you, because I'm 58 years old. My generation did not do a good job of passing it on. I can tell you that.
I think we're in the same generation. You're Gen X, right?
I'm a Gen Xer. We fell down. Now, I don't have no kids, but I'm going to tell you the truth. We fell down.
I think, because we were so inundated with just Martin Luther King, we was like, nah, we heard enough about that. But
I'm going to tell you
there's so many more lessons.
From my generation, there was such a push to be a credit to our race, to get to live in the suburbs and get these, CEO jobs and CFO jobs, and that's what we did. We had our kids, and we put them in the best schools, and other people raise them, and we assimilated, and
whiter was
but you said something earlier, Doc. You said that all of us can't go.
That's it.
But
here's I'm gonna tell you the problem with that.
Because
go ahead.
No, all I was gonna say is because I would say I'm an example of what not to do looks like, but I'm also the example of what to do when you grow up and things that you do differently. I'm an example of that. So it's people that might be younger than me watching me. I can be their example. You can't tell me that you don't see something else, another way to live. You might this person lives that way, but you see what I'm doing. I did this. I was involved with that. But now I got kids. I got a daughter. I got. Oh, you ain't come back to the hood. What you mean? How can I come back to the hood when I gotta go home to feed my daughter? So it's not about not coming back, but it's like at some point, we have to evolve. But
I think, what does evolution look like? What does evolution mean?
But how much evolving can I do as a person if I keep going back?
If you're in that same situation,
that's
a real part of the struggle.
It can be difficult. I know I've had students that say they came in New Orleans. They say they came from the Lower Ninth Ward, which tough place. First semester of school. They're gonna probably sound a little different after they got through their first year of school. They're gonna be a little different after they got. And there are people wanting them to go to school, but then they came back home and their people started rejecting them.
Yeah.
So, what is a kid supposed to do? You wanted me to go to school. You wanted me to better myself. And now I'm starting to better myself. And now you're saying who you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm this kid that you told me to better myself.
Yeah.
So
But isn't that
then
the
there's
same, isn't that the same thing passed on? When I say we internalize things, isn't that the same thing from a supremacist system that says you don't belong here? Who do you think you are to be doing
Yes.
this? And then we turn
Similar.
around and
Yeah.
we internalize
yeah,
it, and then we do it to ourselves, even when
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
exist. Like that's
But Lisa, can I ask a question? Can I ask a
Mhm.
question? Because I think she's making a good point. Can I ask you a question? When you went to Dale State, and when you finally went home, whether it was for a spring break or whenever, and you ran up to somebody that you hadn't seen in a while, but they knew you went to school, did they treat you different?
sometimes some
See?
people
Oh,
did.
are you think you better than us? No.
That
I'm just
exists.
I'm just trying to do something different, bro. I ain't. Or you think because you in college? Wait a minute. So when you get that, you like, wait. So why should I go back? If it's a problem with me bettering myself, why
Yeah,
should I go
no,
back?
that's a real element to to a part of the issue. It's still a part of the issue, but it's a real
Absolutely,
element
Let me
to.
tell you,
absolutely.
that class issue, social class and social economic class is an issue in
Yes,
our culture.
yes,
I grew up truly middle class. So in my suburb where I grew up, my family and one other black family was the only black family in my suburb. So this
mm.
is 67. This is 1967, right? In my school, I was the only black kid. The only black kid
In your
from
whole school?
kindergarten to fifth grade in my school
Oh wow,
until my parents put me in private school in fifth grade. And then
wow,
there were 5 black kids in my private school.
Yikes.
wow.
Okay. So in my school, I was too black. My father pastored a church in the inner city. In my church, I was too white.
Because the way
So
she
for me,
talks.
so to me, I thought everybody was crazy. Like, well, what?
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
So
remember
we,
having to have conversations with people. I used to be like, people say, "Oh, you talk like a white girl, you this, you that," and I
I like
remember
white
when I
girls.
finally, like, I always had a quick wit, and I remember asking somebody, like,
yes, you
"Be
did.
quiet." I remember asking somebody, like, "Do I sound white or do I sound like I could read?" Because the reality is, I felt bad. I felt ashamed because of the
Right.
way because I
Who
didn't talk
you
like
are?
everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
So it's
Can't
Yeah.
like,
be.
You
hey,
see,
why
I just went silent because my parents taught me, don't worry about it, so I
yeah,
just
my
went
mom
silent.
taught me that, but it didn't
Because
make
my thing was, nobody's going to be smarter than me. Nobody's going to be smarter than me. So that was always my fighting word was nobody's going to be smarter than me. So I was going to be smarter than everybody.
Y'all, we've been on here for almost 2 hours. So we need to come
Oh my,
back. We need to come
when we
back.
going to come back?
Y'all, are y'all down with coming back, having another
Yeah,
conversation? We
for
should do
sure.
that.
Yes.
For sure. So again, like I said in the beginning, these conversations are healthy because
Yeah.
even on my platform, we've had conversations where they open up, eyes for me when I'm listening to other people's, perspectives and what
Me
they
too.
think. Sometimes they're similar, but I've always been taught that if it's somebody that is smarter than you, them the people that you want to be around. You don't want to be around the people that's on the same level as you because you don't really learn nothing. So I mean, these conversations that we have, you just never because I'm an open book. If you ask me something and I can, hey, can I say this? Yeah, all right. Because when I came to Dale State, I try to explain to people now that I talk to now that I'm still connected with that when I got to Dale State, I didn't have a plan. I didn't have mentorship. Nobody told me what I had to. It was just go to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I
Mm-hmm.
came to Dale State, I'm coming from, a inner city neighborhood, like many other inner city neighborhoods, and I'm bringing all of that, my baggage, my trauma, my unhealingness, all of that. I'm bringing all of that to school, and so it's like if I wouldn't have came to school, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it. I think I would have been dead. So that's why I do cherish Delaware State and me deciding to go because now I know a plethora of people from different spaces, and we talk. Lisa, I mean, the rest of my homies that's in Philly, my people down in Georgia, my people in New York, got a lot of people in New York, but it gave me a life that I never thought I was going to be able to have because I know so many people. And I'm just saying this, and then I'm going to end it. When I haven't been to Dale State's campus in over, I want to say, I think Hood told me I hadn't probably been there over like 15, maybe 12 or 15 years, something like that.
What?
And so when I finally hit the campus, I'm walking around, and Hood is behind me though. But Hood said that when we got in the car, when we was leaving, he was like, I can see the nostalgia coming back to you when you was walking on campus. He said, and I felt that when people were speaking to you and remember who you were, it made you feel good. I said, and I damn sure missed that. So that's why I try to preach to the kids, not necessarily go to school, but if you had that relationship, that building, time to build with people, the best time of my life, because I ain't know these people from nowhere. And the way they live, we live different. We got different acronyms, we talk, but we all made it work. And that's the part that I like. Like we all, even though we didn't know each other at first, and we went through our little, what you want to call it, tribulations, but eventually it all came together. Yeah, it all came together. So yeah, we definitely can come on back. I'm with it.
Okay, we should do that. Let's make sure.
Yeah. Cause we ain't get through we didn't get through the game.
We can still end with it. Let's do a couple of the
we didn't get to the healing. I wanted to get to the healing. then time alone, man, you had a whole situation. I was like,
I did. So maybe we could do a
situation.
We could do we should have broke this up.
So
we'll come back.
So come back. So come back. Let's keep this. Let's keep what you got because I like it. So when we come back, we can reintroduce. We can start with the game. That's something fun. We can start with the game, and then we can get into this second segment, this healing, because that's what I want to talk about.
I like it.
Because it's a lot of broken people that are afraid. I tell people it is okay for you to say that you're not okay. It's okay.
That's right.
It's okay.
It hasn't been okay. People need to hear that.
Yeah, like it's and I know some of the stuff that I've shared is like, you really been through that? Yeah, man. And I think some people don't like that I overshared. Some people don't mind it, but I don't care because you got to know who I am, and this is a part of who I am. This is part of what I went.
Okay, sharing it.
But I wasn't though. I wasn't always like that. I think that I only got like that the first time I went to counseling when I was married, because my marriage was kind of on the rocks, and the judge recommended that we went to therapy, and we did it. But even when we went, my ex decided not to stop coming for whatever reason. But the next week that I came, the therapist was like, now that your wife isn't here, I want you to take me back to when you were the youngest you, what you can remember, and then let's work our way up. And I went through so much, and Lisa, it was stuff that I was talking to her about that I had never talked about. Like it had never came out of like I had it inside of me, but I never spoke it. So going to therapy that first time helped me so much that on this second round, it's like I'm not embarrassed. I'm fully confident in why I'm doing. Yeah, it just feels so much better now. So we definitely can come back, because that healing part is a part that we have these conversations of healing from trauma, right? But are you ever going to heal from the trauma? Like the doctor just said, there's so many systems in place. When you go outside, it might be something triggering it every day. So
you can heal.
Okay, I mean, because I know me. I
it's
know
a process.
If you cut me off in traffic, that's setting me off right there.
No. Oh God!
Just being honest.
That's hilarious.
So I'm Lisa, you let me know. I'm cool. We do the game and do the healing. Yeah, I'm with it.
If y'all have time, we should do a week. I mean, it is Black History Month. We could do one a week for the month.
You let me know.
Let me know.
I
my
I can
schedule.
fit this into my schedule. I think so. Again, this is positive. Anything positive, I'm with it.
All right, that's good. So let's do this. Let's do this. I got a book club coming up, and I got a course that's going to be dropping. It's called Drop the Cape. That's going to start in March. The book club is going to start in February, middle of February, but it's going to be in a school community just for women. What do y'all have going on? Do y'all want to put it in the chat, or do y'all want to post it so people can join? I'm sure there's some people who want to catch this conversation and want to connect more. So
yeah, I have a group coming up called Survive, Revive, Thrive. It's a BIPOC stress management group, and you can register by February 15th. It's going to start February 22nd for 6 sessions. It's a very exclusive group. Every group is only going to have 5 people in it, and we just added a group just for clinicians, healthcare providers. You can go to my website, ihinstitute.com, ihinstitute.com, and it'll give you all the information to reserve your spot.
can you put that? I put it in the chat, but I forgot to put your name and your information. I'd rather see your stuff connected to it. Can you put it in the chat?
Yep, I sure can.
Kevin, are there ways people could connect with you, get involved, be a part of your? You still doing the 6-man podcast regularly or
So
individually?
that's funny that you mentioned that, because people think that when I'm on social media that's what it is. So I just been sticking with it. So I have not really involved myself with the podcast as much, even though I have been getting people to ask me questions, to do some interviews and things like that. But I'm trying to take that aspect of the podcast and put it into the nonprofit, where I'm going to start now, doing like a community spotlight and highlighting, individuals like yourselves, and just having these conversations on that platform to bring more, what's the word I'm looking for? More traffic, towards our organization. So mainly that's what I'm working on with that. But if anybody wants to get involved and find out what Type Inc.'s doing, teaching youth prosperity and excellence, you can go to typeinc.org. You can also go onto our page, and at the bottom there's a newsletter. You can sign up for the newsletter, and once you're connected to the newsletter, anything that we're doing, it'll shoot you an email to whatever email address that you put in. But we're also, again, working on a 5K walk/run in Southeast DC in May. I think it's May the 16th. But this year is our 6th year of service. So we're trying to come up with 6 days of something that we do to recognize our 6 years in service. So we're actually in meetings right now trying to see what that looks like. But if you want to donate, you can go to the website and donate. We always would enjoy that. We have a toiletry drive that we're doing, where we take toiletry hygiene products to the young people in elementary school, junior high school, and high school. So we always taking donations for those. And then we're ramping up on our socks and blanket drive right now, where we want people to go either to our website to get to donate, or either we're going to put out a Amazon and slow down, an Amazon or Walmart list. Once that hits our website, and we're going to put it on our website, put it on our pages. People can donate. One of the things that we learned in the community was socks was important, like all year round. So we try to take as many donations for the socks as we can, but we know it's cold now, so we do ask for blankets. And if you have a warm jacket, hoodie, something that, worn out, something that's still usable, we're trying to get drop off locations from different businesses in our area, where people can go to the business, drop off, and then we'll be able to get the donations that way. So that's pretty much what we got going on now. But if we have anything up coming when we come back on, I'll share that as well. But right now, typeinc.org on IG, we are Type Inc 2020. And on YouTube, we are Type Inc. So anywhere you want to just find out what we're doing, just hit Type Inc. We're in the Google search, so you'll be able to find us.
Nice. Okay. All right, y'all.
Lisa, what are you doing?
I got my group coming up, my course coming up called Drop the Cape. It's specifically for women who just commit to too much, who just take on things and just don't, are also probably more than likely empty nesters, and also just have engaged in perfectionism and too much. They wouldn't necessarily call themselves people pleasing, but usually engaging in some type of people pleasing activity. So that group is going to start. It's going to be an 8-week group that's coming up in March. But for February, I'm starting a book club.
You have to register for the group?
For the group, yes, but that's just for Black women.
So if I know a couple sisters, I can refer them? Okay.
I put the school link in here for the group. And for the they can join me on school. That's completely free. The school, if they join school now, is free. It is going to be a $25 a month. Yeah, $25 a month fee. But right now, if they join between now and March 1st, it'll be free.
Okay. All right. I might know a couple women that wouldn't mind joining that group.
Okay, good. Share it, please.
Oh, sure.
I'm so happy. This is good, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch Becoming right now because I like it. I'm going to pack for my cruise and watch Becoming, and
oh, you going on a cruise? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going on a Super Bowl vacations
cruise right now. I'm working on buying a property. I can't buy nothing.
That should be.
Tell me I can't buy nothing. Oh, you can't buy this. You got to stick to this budget. Okay.
I know they want to see that you can stick to that budget.
I can't buy nothing. You hear me? I'm trying to get somebody else in here not to buy stuff. Let me see your phone. Why you want to see my phone? Let me see that Amazon. Let me see that Temu. Let me see that Shein card.
You're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Why you let me see that Shein card. Let me. Yeah.
It's just the cart. She just got it in the cart.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good. In the cart for later.
Yeah, but just let me know what day. I mean, Sundays normally work for me. I'm normally flexible on Sundays. I would say Monday through Saturday is a little, you know what I'm saying? But Sunday, I can find time to do this.
Me too.